Hello guys, welcome back to Code. In the previous video, we have learned about type inference, union types, and type alias. Now in this video, we are going to learn about functions and also generic types. Let's start with functions and types. And I'm saying functions and types because when we work with functions, there are different places where we use types also. We'll be assigning those types to different variables. Let's start by defining a function here. Function. This is the keyword to define functions in TypeScript, also JavaScript. Then I'll give name to our function. Let us say add. I will create an add function which adds two numbers. So it will take a and b as two parameters, and it will return the numbers by adding them like this. But if you see the parameters we are passing it here, a and b, they are of any type, not specifically defined as number, as we discussed in the first video. So I am assigning the types to this a and b parameter, like a colon number and b colon number. Now if you see this function definition here, it is taking two parameters a and b and returning the number a plus b by adding the numbers a and b. So I defined a type here for a, that is number, and for b as number. But there is one more type here which is inferred by using Typescript, using the type inference feature, but I didn't give the type to this. I'm talking about the return type. We can see the type it infers if we hover it on the add function here. We'll see the type definition for the add function. Here it is taking a and b as numbers, which is we defined it here, but after this definition here there is a colon and it is showing it as number. But this is not defined from us. It is automatically assigned by using type inference feature in TypeScript. We can also set the return type explicitly here by giving a colon here and say it as number. It is also possible, but I would say this will be redundant as it is inferring the type automatically. Not only single type, we can also give union types, like give a type symbol here and then string, like that. So we can able to define a union types here or only single type, that refers to the return type. So if there is any special reason to do it, you should do it, but other than it is not necessary to do this. It will automatically infer the return type for this function in TypeScript. Now I want to discuss about some special return type in TypeScript. To know that, let me define another function here. Function print something. This function is to print something to the console. So I will take a value here which is of any type, and I will just print this value here, console.log value. So I'm saying this function to take this value and just print it in the console. That's it. So I'm not returning any value from this function, I'm just printing this value. So now if you hover on this function here, it says the return type as void. So this is the special return type I want to make you know about. In this case it says that we are not returning anything, right? Nor number, string or boolean, right? So it's just taking it as void. So that means we are not returning any type. It's just void, it's not returning anything. And one more rule to know about defining these functions are, we should not use the keywords that are present in TypeScript or JavaScript to define these function names here. For example, if I want to make it print, as there is a built-in function already in the TypeScript that is print, we should not use the same keyword to define a function. This is the basic rule. So that's how we define the functions, parameters and the return types here. Now let's discuss about generics. Let me consider an example here, like a function. I will be defining a function. Insert at beginning, right? And this function takes an array and a value. And I will define the input parameters types as, like for array, it can be of any type of array, and for value, it is of any type. So it might be strings, numbers, or boolean types, whatever. It will take just these arrays and the value here that is given from the function call. So whatever it takes, I just want to create a new array from these values, like constant new array equal to, I will be using the spread operator to copy the existing array like this. That's a standard JavaScript feature that is also supported in TypeScript also. And I just want to append the value at the beginning of this array. So value, comma, and I will copy the whole array here, and then I will just return this array. So basically what this function doing is, it's just taking an array and a value, and the value is inserted in the beginning of the array by taking the copied values from this array and creating new array and then returning this new array. So let me call this function. I'm defining an array here, like constant array1 equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm calling this function insert at beginning. I'm sending this array, also an value like 0, like that, and I'm storing the returned array, that is the new array here, in some other updated array. Let me take another array here, updated array, like that. So the output for this array will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? This should be the output. But the problem here is, if I hover it on the updated arrays, it is of type any array. So an array full of any kind of values. TypeScript doesn't pick up the thing that it's an array full of numbers, because if you hover on the function, it has array as any type and value as any type, and it returns also an any type array. So our updated array is not an type of array of numbers, it is a type of any array. So I cannot say, oh, this function will only allow numbers and it will return only numbers. Even though if I send strings along with this number array, it will got updated in the array, right? Like if I send any string carry code like that, it will append the carry code at the beginning and it will update the array like this. And after this, if you want to make some operations on this updated array, like updated array dot updated array, in first position I can see it is a string, right? So I'm taking the first position. In the first position I can see it is string, right? Carry code. So I'm taking the first position here, and then first string I have an operation like split dot split. Like that I can do like this, but this will not throw any error here in the compile time. But at the runtime, if you didn't send any carry code string here, it will throw an error because the first index is only number, right? Number doesn't have a function called split. So as TypeScript doesn't know that first position is string, as a developer we know that, but the TypeScript doesn't know it. So to overcome these problems, we have a feature called generics. So with this feature called generics, we can convert this function into generic function. That is, we can use a special syntax here after the function name. We can use these angular brackets like this, we can add them, and inside these angular brackets we can define a generic type. Like in this case, let me take it as T for type, but you can use any identifier of your choice. And instead of this any, I can use it as T type, and also for the value also we can use same T type. So what this function basically says is, I'm taking an array of T types and a value of T type, and I'm returning a value array of T types. So if I send an array of numbers here to this function will enforce the type by looking into the values inside this array. If it is number, then this T type will be assigned to number, and the value should be number, then the return type will be number, right? If it is strings, then this value will be string. We have to send it as a string, otherwise it will throw an error, and the return type should be a string. By the minute I defined it as generic function, you can see here the split function is showing an error, because if you hover on the updated array, now it is showing the number as its type. That is the number array. Now it's showing number array as its type, because we have defined the function as a generic function, and as I said, we are sending the number array here, and the value is also of number type, so it is returning a number type array. So the updated array is of type number array, and we don't have any split function for the numbers, so it is showing error here. So before compiling itself, we can find the errors using these generic types instead of getting them in the runtime. So this is a use case for generic types. If you have any doubts, you can comment down below. I will be explaining them. Please subscribe and check out other videos in the channel. Thank you. Thanks for watching.